Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Here we go. This is my first trip in US and I hope you guys enjoy this. This is just day 1, so you have to stay tuned for next videos. And here comes the ASTH. So we are people, we make memories, love and everything together. And friend కష్టపడి పెయింట్ చేసిందండి, చూపియాలి కదా, తప్పదు. And there you go. We start our journey. There's our luggage. And నేను బయలుదేరిపోయాను. అండ్ ఇక్కడ మీరు చూస్తే అది సెకండ్ అటెంప్ట్ తర్వాత వచ్చిందండి. తను నా ఫ్రెండ్ చాలా కష్టపడి పూజ చేసి సాఫీగా వెళ్ళి రావాలి అని ఇద్దరు కష్టపడి దాన్ని వెలిగించి చూడండి, నెక్స్ట్ దాన్ని కూర్చోడానికి ట్రై చేస్తుంది మా ఫ్రెండ్. తను కోరుకున్నట్టుగానే మేము సేఫ్గా వెళ్ళి సేఫ్గా ఇంటికి వచ్చాం. చాలా కష్టపడ్డది. అండ్ టాస్క్ అకంప్లిష్డ్. అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ కొబ్బరికాయ కొట్టాం. ఇవన్నీ మనం ఫాలో అవ్వాల్సిన అవసరం ఉందా లేదా అనేది మనిషిని బట్టి ఉంటుంది. బట్ ఐ థింక్ వీ షుడ్, బికాజ్ వీఆర్ ఇండియన్స్. అండ్ మా ఫ్రెండ్ కార్ స్టార్ట్ చేసింది. అండ్ దేర్ వి గో. ట్రిప్లో బెస్ట్ పార్ట్, వీ స్టార్టెడ్ ఆఫ్ విత్ సన్ రైజ్. అండ్ నా ఫ్రెండ్ చాలా కష్టపడి ఒక 45 minutes ఫోన్ అలాగే పట్టుకొని కష్టపడి తీసిందండి వీడియో. జస్ట్ ఎంజాయ్ ఇట్. Meanwhile, I'll tell you a story. ఈ ట్రిప్ మేము 1.5 months నుండి ప్లాన్ చేస్తే అది 1 month అయ్యి 3 weeks అయ్యి 2 weeks అయ్యి 1 week ముందు డిసైడ్ చేసి 1 day ముందు బుకింగ్ చేసుకొని స్టార్ట్ అయ్యాం. దట్ వాజ్ సచ్ ఎ ర్యాండమ్ వన్. There we go. McD is our all-time savior here, 24/7. అంత మార్నింగ్ స్టార్ట్ అయినప్పుడు ఆకలి అయితే వేస్తుంది కదా, సో వెళ్ళాము, ఆర్డర్ చేసుకున్నాము, తిన్నాము, అండ్ దెన్ we started back again. This is a short clip which I inserted here. And then we reached our first destination. Expect చేసినంతగా లేదు, but whatever it is. There you go, that yellow thing, we flew in that. Exciting గానే ఉంది కదా, ఉంటుంది. అండ్ ఇక్కడ ఇవన్నీ ప్రీ ఫార్మాలిటీస్, జస్ట్ ఫినిషింగ్ అప్ విత్ చెకింగ్ సిగ్నేచర్స్ అండ్ ఎక్సెట్రా. అండ్ ఎక్కేసాము. అండ్ there we go. ఫ్లై. మేమందరం చాలా నార్మల్గా క్యాజువల్గా వెళ్ళాము. పైలట్ అయితే ఇంకా క్యాజువల్గా వచ్చారండి, పేర్స్ ఆఫ్ షార్ట్స్లో. జస్ట్ ఎంజాయ్ ఇట్. Finally land అయ్యాం. I hope you enjoyed that view. But చూసాక ఏదో అనుకున్నామండి, కానీ ఎక్కాక it was really a thrilling ride. And then దిస్ ఇస్ ద నెక్స్ట్ డెస్టినేషన్. ఆఫ్ కోర్స్ అంత తిరుగుతున్నాం, పెట్రోల్ అయితే నింపాల్సిందే కదా. Bucky's and done. And there you see, this is the downtown of San Antonio. That was the first place we went to. And ఈ పెద్ద పెద్ద బిల్డింగ్లు చూసి అమెరికా అంతా ఇలాగే ఉంటుందని అస్సలు అనుకోకండి. ఇది అక్కడక్కడ మాత్రం. ఈ గ్యాప్లో మేము హౌస్కి వెళ్ళి ఫ్రెష్ అయ్యి రెడీ అయిపోయి మళ్ళీ స్టార్ట్ అయిపోయాము. దిస్ వాజ్ అవర్ సెకండ్ స్టాప్ యాడ్ సే ఫర్ ఫుడ్. ఈ హోటల్ మేము రివ్యూస్ చూసి వెళ్ళాము. ఇట్ వాజ్ గుడ్ బట్ ఐ నాట్ సే గ్రేట్. దేర్ వి గో, వి ఆల్ వే హంగ్రీ. అండ్ అదంతా అయిపోయిన తర్వాత ఈవినింగ్ అయిందండి. వీ వెంట్ టు రివర్ వాక్ విచ్ ఇస్ వెరీ ఫేమస్ దేర్. ఇంకో కొద్ది సెకండ్స్లో మీరు చూస్తారు, ద వ్యూ విల్ బి వెరీ బ్యూటిఫుల్. అండ్ దే యూ గో సీ ద స్ట్రీట్స్, ది హార్సెస్. ఓ దోస్ లైట్స్ ఆర్ సో బ్యూటిఫుల్. ఎస్, అది రోడ్ పైనే ఉంది, రోడ్ పైనే వెళ్తుంది. అండ్ దిస్ ఇస్ ద పార్కింగ్. ఐ జస్ట్ వాంటెడ్ టు షో, ఇక్కడ ఈ సిస్టమ్ బాగుందండి. లైక్ ఇక్కడ ఎంటర్ అయిన తర్వాత మనం నార్మల్ ఇండియా లాంటి టికెట్ తీసుకొని ఆ స్క్రీన్ చూసారా, ఒక్కొక్క ఫ్లోర్లో ఎన్ని ఎంటీ ప్లేసెస్ ఉన్నాయో మనకి చూపిస్తుంది. సో ఫస్ట్ ఫ్లోర్లో ఒక ఎంటీ స్పాట్ ఉంది, సెకండ్ పార్కింగ్ ఫ్లోర్లో ఇన్ని స్పాట్స్ ఉన్నాయి. Which makes work easier, right? I think that should be in India also. I wish it was. And there you go. ఇది ఆల్వేస్ పార్కింగ్లో ఒక మినీ రోలర్ కోస్టర్ లాగా ఉంటుంది. అండ్ ఇట్ ఆల్సో డిపెండ్స్ ఆన్ ద పర్సన్ హూ ఇస్ డ్రైవింగ్. ద పర్సన్ హూ వాస్ డ్రైవింగ్ హియర్ రియలీ గుడ్ అట్ ఇట్. అండ్ దెన్ we finally got our spot. And then we started off by walking. There you see it again. చాలా బాగుంది కదండి. అయినా నేను మా ఫ్రెండ్ చూడండి వచ్చేసారు. నేను ఆల్రెడీ చెప్పాను నా వెనకాల ఉండండి, నేను రికార్డ్ చేసుకోవాలి అని. లేదు, మేమిద్దరమే వీడియోలో రావాలని వాళ్ళే నడుస్తున్నారు. చూడండి, ఇద్దరు లవ్ బర్డ్స్ లాగానే నడుస్తున్నారు. అసలు పట్టించుకోవట్లేదు. అండ్ ఫైనలీ నేను ముందుకు వచ్చేసాను. నైట్ వ్యూ అయితే అమెరికాలో బాగుంటాయి, లైట్స్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్. సో ఇలాంటి వ్యూస్ కెమెరాలో ఎంత క్యాప్చర్ అవుతాయో తెలియదు, కానీ ఇట్ గివ్స్ ఎ లాట్ ఆఫ్ మెమరీస్. ద పీపుల్ హూ యూ గో అండ్ ద విజువల్స్ యూ సీ, మెమరీస్ అయితే చాలా చేసుకున్నామండి మేము. ఆ టాల్ బిల్డింగ్ చూసారా, దట్ వాజ్ మ్యారియాట్. And there you go in 3, 2, 1. Oh my god. And Mali love bird. Absolutely. Just look at those people with guitars happening. అక్కడ చాలా జరిగాయండి. చెప్పాలంటే స్పెసిఫిక్గా 1-2 అని అలా లేవు. దట్ రివర్ వాజ్ వెరీ 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 బిగ్. మీరు చూస్తారు, మేము ఆ బోట్లో కూడా ఎక్కాము. నెక్స్ట్ వస్తుంది ఆ క్లిప్ కూడా. ఇట్ వాజ్ రియలీ బిగ్. మేము రివర్ అంతా తిరిగాము, చూసాము. లైక్ చాలా వీ ఎంజాయ్డ్ అలాట్ వాకింగ్, ఎక్స్ప్లోరింగ్. దేర్ వాజ్ మ్యూజిక్, డాన్స్, వ్యూస్, లైట్స్, సో మెనీ థింగ్స్. ఇందాక మీరు చూసారు కదా టాల్ బిల్డింగ్, దట్ ఈస్ మ్యారియాట్. I wish we would stay there. We would have the best view. But మీకు తెలిసిందే కదా స్టూడెంట్ కష్టాలు, ఏం చేయలేమండి. అండ్ దీనికి చాలా పెద్ద లైన్ ఉండే. మీరు ఇది ఏంటి అనుకుంటున్నారా? ఆ పెద్ద రివర్లో ఆ బోట్ ఎక్కి ఒక పెద్ద రైడ్ వెళ్ళడానికి ఇంతమంది వెయిట్ చేస్తున్నారు. ఇందులో మేము కూడా జాయిన్ అయిపోయాం. One step far from getting into the boat. అది నేను నైట్ లైఫ్లో లైట్స్ అండ్ లుక్ ఎట్ మీ, ఐ ఫెల్ట్ క్యూట్. అండ్ దేర్ వి గో ఎంటరింగ్ ద బోట్. ఇక్కడ స్టార్ట్
In that time, I am going to give y'all a lot of information, especially about our San Antonio River. But there are safety rules. There is absolutely no standing while this boat is in motion. Now, if you find yourself in the water today, guys, stand up and walk out. Most of the river is less than 5 feet deep, but I do have life jackets just in case. Now, there is no smoking here on board. That does include vaping and e-cigarettes. And when it comes to talking, just remember, there is someone right next to you trying to listen to this tour, so let's all be respectful. And if you must have a conversation, please keep it at a whisper or not at all. Other than that, we can get started. Now, here on my left, we do have La Villita. Now, it is a market full of artisan shops and restaurants. Now, another part of La Villita is the Ornison River Theater. So that's the area that we're coming through right now. So the stage to my right has been used for a lot of different things, but the most memorable would probably be when they used it in Miss Congeniality, starring Sandra Bullock. Yep. You might remember it from the part where she's talking about world peace. But if you're anything like my husband, you remember it from the bikini scene. Now this bridge right here is named after Rosita Fernandez. She was a pioneer of Tejano music and was the first person to be given the title Lady of Song by Miss Lady Bird Johnson. Now, in front of us to my right, behind the bronze bulls, is the Bertha Western Art Museum. But the building originally opened up in 1930 as the first San Antonio Public Library. Now, at the time, it was considered the tallest building in San Antonio because of all the stories it had. Thank you, thank you. Now later on it was turned into the Herzberg Circus Museum. That at least was until a certain author wrote a certain book, which completely changed the stigma around clowns. So instead of being like these fun-loving characters, they were now terrifying children eaters. And so they did close in 1998 because due to lack of business. And in 2013 is when the Western Art Museum opened up. This right here is the lowest bridge on the water, but don't worry, as long as you're sitting, your heads are safe. Even you, sir. Now this metal structure here to my right is Father Maximus Table. Commemorates the first Catholic Mass held on the river back in 1691. And it is placed on top of Marriage Island. So this is called Marriage Island because the roots of the cypress tree created the shape of a heart. Plus approximately 300 proposals and weddings happen on that island every year because they say it brings good luck to your marriage. Here to my right we have the Westin Hotel. So whenever our San Antonio Spurs has a home game, their opponent team will stay here. Now I know that's not as cool as the Spurs, but it's still a great place to lay your head at night being NBA worthy and all. A not so great place to lay your head at night? The building right in front of us. Because it's the Bexar County Courthouse. Now it did open up in 1897, making it the oldest courthouse here in Texas. It's also the largest, made out of granite and redstone, which gives it that color. Now if you look up to my left, you'll see the Tower Life building. It's the lit up one there. Now it was originally the Smith & Young, built in 1929. Now the Smith brothers were very superstitious men, and that is why you can see gargoyles up on top and these ugly faces right below the second floor windows, because they are known to ward off evil and bad business. But man, did these guys do a terrible job. And that's because in 1929, our stock market crashed. So the Smith brothers lost their building. Now they spent $3 million to complete it, and after they lost the building, it resold for less than $300,000. Coming up to my right, we do have the International Center. It is the trading post for Canada, Mexico, and the United States. Now, if you look back at the Tower Life, you will see that from this point of view, it looks like a ship. Because the Smith brothers love ships, that's why they used an old one in some of the framework of the building. Now, it is said that that ship was haunted. So So now in this area, if you're real quiet, you can hear the faint sounds of a foghorn. I'm just kidding, guys. So it just happens to look like a ship. It's one of the two optical illusions that we have here along the river. Now this bridge right here is floodgate number 4. The green light on top tells me that the river isn't flooding, so we are safe to come through. Taking a right. To my left, the river does stretch about 200 miles south, but we're not going to go that way because that green light back there is floodgate number 5, which is a 15-foot drop. This is the only part of the river that is more than 15 feet deep because it's our flood channel. Now there are a series of dams and gates designed by Robert H.H. Hugman along the river. Because in 1921 there was a flood that reached 9 feet above street level, cost millions of dollars of damage, and over 50 people their lives. Now if you look at the street behind me, you're going to see a fence full of locks. Those are lots of love. Now with them, you and your loved one put your name on a lock, lock it onto the fence, and then you're supposed to throw the keys into the river, and that signifies your forever lasting love. My husband and I actually have a lock up there, but I think he was trying to be extra secure because he also threw our car keys in the river. Yeah, when they drained the river back in January, he's like, I'm going to find them. He did not find them. Now here to my left we have Main Plaza. And on top of Main Plaza is the San Fernando Cathedral. So every Tuesday night they have a free light show on the side of it. That's actually what's going on right now. But you didn't miss it, because they do replay it every 30 minutes until 10:30. So you'll probably be able to make the 10 o'clock show. Now straight in front of us we have the oldest tree on the river. It's estimated to be around 300 to 450 years old, standing at approximately 90 feet tall. Now, if you think that's old, it hasn't even reached half its lifetime yet. Balding cypress trees can live up to 1,000 years old. Now, this green structure we're coming up on is floodgate number 3. The door comes straight down really fast, weighing like 4 tons. I believe that they tested out every day, what was it, around 9:25 p.m.? Just kidding, guys. No, the only thing true about what I just said was it weighs 4 tons. Other than that, they only close it when it's about to flood, and it does take 15 minutes to completely hit the ground. Now here on my right, they are building apartments, and I bet y'all can never guess what they're going to name them. The floodgates, after their neighbor. I don't know about you, I feel like it's bad junior to call apartments next to a river flood, you know. Now here to my right, we do have the Esquire Tavern, which was opened during Prohibition as the Esquire Barbershop. Except with that barbershop, you would go in and ask for a buzz cut, and they would come out with a different kind of buzz. Now it's rumored that just 6 minutes after Prohibition was lifted, the Esquire Tavern opened up as a fully stocked bar. So they get to call themselves the oldest bar here on the river. They also have the longest wooden bar top in Texas, with over 100 feet of beer-soaked wood. Now here to my right, we do have another one of our ticket locations. This one is underneath the Aztec Theater, which opened up in 1926 as a silent movie theater. But then in the 40s, silent movies just weren't cool anymore, so the Aztec wasn't getting the business that it needed. So they did have to close, but just for a little while. And now it is a live performance theater, so things like concerts, comedy shows, all that good stuff happens there. Now the bridge in front of us is named after Robert H.H. Hugman. He is known as the father of the Riverwalk because he's the man who designed it. You know, when Hugman was designing these bridges, he made sure that they were tall enough for gondolas to fit through, because he always knew that this river would be used for entertainment, and gondolas were the most popular boat at the time. So we also call that our Selena Bridge. And that's because it was used in the movie Selena, starring Jennifer Lopez, back in 1997. She hangs her feet off of this side of the bridge. While they were filming, Jennifer Lopez stayed in the hotel here to my left. But this wasn't always a hotel. It originally opened up in 1853 as St. Mary's School for Boys, and it was later turned into a University of Law. Now, it wasn't until 1968 when an alumni of the law school bought the building and turned it into La Mansion Hotel. Now, I do have another optical illusion for you guys to check out. As we're exiting the bridge, you're going to want to look at the building to my left. So try to look at the top of it. So look as far up to my left as you can, right about now. All the way up. It looks flat, right? Don't worry guys, it's not going to fall on us. It's a triangular building, which used to be the Nick's Hospital. So the Nick's opened up in 1930, but the hospital part closed back in 2019, and now they're turning it into the only thing they thought was practical, a hotel. Because that's what San Antonio does. It takes really old buildings and turns them into hotels. And that's one of the reasons why San Antonio is ranked number 5 as the most haunted city in the entire country, right after New Orleans. But the Nick's isn't even the first hospital to be turned into a hotel. Because in 1926, the Emily Morgan Hospital was opened, and it was a hospital up until 1976, and now it's one of the most haunted in San Antonio. But it's not the most, because that title belongs to the mayor, with no less than 36 registered ghost living there. Both of these hotels are located next to the Alamo. If you want to get there from this part of the river, you can go through the doors to my left. So this area is called the Shops of Spacio del Alamo. Added in the 80s so that people can get from the Riverwalk to the Alamo without getting lost. They are part of the Hyatt Regency Hotel, which was supposed to be 32 floors. But if it stayed that tall, it would have cast a shadow on the Alamo. And it's against city ordinance to cast a shadow on a war memorial. So they did reduce it by half. And it now stands at 16 floors. I thought it was the backfire of a truck. Now here to my right is the Casino Club building. But it's not a casino, and it never was. No, it was just founded by the Casino Association and the San Antonio Society Club. Now today you can find a restaurant on the first 2 floors, and above that are apartments. They are the cheapest apartments in the downtown area, and they only have like a 16-year wait. So now the area we're coming through now is called Restaurant Row. So if you're looking for a good place to eat, I recommend the one here to my right. Over to my left. No, it's kind of look to my right. I'm just kidding, they're all great. It just depends on what you're in the mood for. Some have steak, some have burgers, but you know what they all have? Duck. Oh, that was a joke, guys. They have Tex-Mex in San Antonio. So with the quality of food being so good, I would just choose the place with the shortest wait time. Now here to my right, we do have the Clifford Building. This is where Robert Hudson placed his office in 1941 when the rest of the Riverwalk was completed, to show everyone that it was now safe for business. So safe that he was willing to risk his own property and life. And that risk paid off. Because just 5 years later, Casa Rio here on my right opened up its doors. So not only is it the oldest restaurant here on the river, they are the first business to offer riverboat rides. But their boat rides looked a lot different than ours. Because with them, you would order your food, hop on a gondola, and when you got back from your gondola ride, your food would be ready. So the city adopted the idea from Casa Rio and later turned gondolas into paddle boats. But after 1968, the demand for narrated tours became so popular that they had to figure out how to put more people on just one boat. And that is why we now have these pontoon boats. So we are now taking a left out of the natural San Antonio River and into the man-made extension. Now this extension was added in 1968 during the World's Fair, which was this huge festival that San Antonio had to celebrate its 250th birthday. Because what better way to celebrate that to invite countries from all over the world and have a 6-month-long fiesta or party for you non-Spanish speakers. It was also a way for San Antonio to be like, hey world, look at us, and come see why we're so different. And it worked, because over 7 million people visited San Antonio in just that 6-month span. That's about as many people who visit us in a year's time now. And we are so popular that our Riverwalk is the #1 tourist attraction in all of Texas. Now in front of us you can see a few hotels, but I'm going to talk about the one on my left with those colorful lights. That is Marriott River Center. It is the tallest hotel in San Antonio, standing at 32 floors, compared to the Grand Hyatt, which is 34. Now if you're like, hold on, why is Marriott taller then? Because of the antennas on top. They add that extra bit of footage. It's a trick that architects use to say they have a taller building. It's not even the first time San Antonio used that trick, because we also used it in 1968 for the Tower of Americas, which you can see up to my right. Now the Tower of Americas was built as the centerpiece for the World's Fair, standing at 750 feet tall. At the time, it beat the Spacio in Seattle as the tallest freestanding building in the United States. But it was eventually beat by the Stratosphere in Las Vegas. Now you can find a restaurant 522 feet in the air. Then you can take an elevator up there. But there's also 952 steps. Now they do walk up those steps every year in memorial to 9/11, as well as for marathons. And the fastest recorded time of all those steps is just 5 minutes and 18 seconds. And I will never do that again. Just kidding, guys. No, it was actually beat back in the 80s by Tommy Johnson. Since then, the second fastest time has been about 7 minutes, and the fastest time going down has been 30 seconds. Now, I must warn you guys, we are headed towards the most dangerous part of the river, the mall. Very dangerous for your wallet, especially for my husband. Now, if you look in front of us, that boat captain coming towards us, that's Captain Aaron. He was voted the most handsome boat captain of 2022. Well, fortunately for you guys, he's taken to that's my husband. Where was that reaction? Now here on my right, we do have another one of our ticket locations. As you can see, it's probably our most busiest. But that's because it's the only one that serves delicious frozen margaritas and ices to go. We're actually stopping so you can grab some. I'm just kidding, guys. Sorry, we have to keep going. There was something out of his way. So we are headed towards the food court of these shops at River Circus. So this mall has over 100 different retail shops and restaurants. Now they do have 6 restaurants here on River Level. They're actually about to open up 2 more. And I'm not even including what's inside. But even with how big this mall is, it's not the biggest one in San Antonio. Nope, that would be North Star, known as a giant cowboy boot. This one is so well known though. Because, you're gonna hate me now. This mall does have a Dave & Buster's, 2 movie theaters. They did just open up a new Sea Life aquarium, and right next to the aquarium, they have Legoland, but you do have to be careful with Legoland because usually they are so busy that people line up for blocks. Thank you, thank you. I worked really hard stealing those jokes, so I appreciate when you laugh at them. Now, a question I do get asked a lot about our boats is if they're electric or gas. And they are electric. Made the change back in 2018 from gas motors because one, they are more quiet, and 2, they're more eco-friendly. Because we have a lot of wildlife on the river. I mean, you see all the ducks. Although fun fact about the ducks, they are not native to the river, so they are considered an invasive species. And on top of the ducks, we have a bunch of fish in here too, like bass, tilapia, and carp. Although I would say the most common type of fish is the sailfish, but it is also an invasive species, so try not to contribute to it. Another question I get asked a lot about our boat is if it's on tracks, and no, it is not. Would you drive it? Now, in front of us to my left, you can see the statue of a lady. Her name is Stargazer. She was just uncovered this month, designed by Pablo Reyes, an artist located in Mexico City. And inside of Stargazer, there's millions of pieces of tiny volcanic rock that came from an active volcano in Mexico. Now here to my right, you see a statue of a man. That man is Saint Anthony of Padua. So he is the patron saint of children and lost articles. And the statue was given to us as a gift from Portugal. But that is where Saint Anthony is from. He's also who we're named after. Because San Antonio is the Spanish version of Saint Anthony. First given to the river by Father Maximus in honor of Feast Day, also known as Saint Day, back in the 1718. Our city is now 304 years old, but before San Antonio, this river did have a different name, and that was Yana Guana. So Yana Guana roughly translates to peaceful waters in a language native to the Payaya people. So they were one of the many Native American tribes that lived in this area. Now, if you look above the trees here to my right, you're going to see the top of the steeple. That steeple belongs to St. Joseph's Catholic Church, which was founded by the German community back in 1868 because they were yearning for a German sermon. Now today they still uphold that tradition because every fourth Sunday of the month they have an all-male choir who sings in German. So I do recommend you check out the church beforehand. They have some beautiful stained glass windows that came straight from Germany. Now here to my right is an example of the many artists that we have here in San Antonio. Now these guys grow the tiniest flowers in the world and he puts them in jewelry. Another well-known artist is Sebastian. And that's because he designed that big red structure in front of us to my right. So that is called the Torch of Friendship, placed there in 2002 as a gift from Mexico. Now when you walk around it and look at it from the different points of view, you will see that they're not all the same. Some will look complex, while others look like they're more harmonious. So the artist did this to represent the friendship that we have with Mexico. Because even though it's complicated, we are still united. Now I am going to make a quick stop coming out from underneath this bridge. These stops are just to make sure that there aren't any boats coming. Because since there aren't any, we are good to go. So we are taking a left back into the natural river. So unfortunately we're going back to where we started. I need to tell you, but we are coming to the end of our ride. I am going to ask y'all to remain seated until I have the boat secured. I will let you know when it is safe to stand. Now we do have this tip jar here, guys. Now tipping your captain, that is job well done, is allowed, accepted, and very, very much appreciated. I do also accept Cash App and Venmo, just in case you never know. But if you did really enjoy my tour today, my name is Destiny. I love to see my name in reviews, especially when they're 5 stars. But anything less than 3, my name is Erin. Now make sure you look around, you guys, grabbing everything we might have brought on. If you do have any questions as we're getting off the boat, please feel free to ask me. I'll be so happy to help.
Finally we headed back to our room and హ్యాపీగా పడుకున్నాము. ఫస్ట్ డే అలా చాలా బాగా ఎండ్ అయింది and it was really good. Please stay continued and for the second part, third part ఇంకా బాగున్నాయి. I know that's third time but it's cute. So much for watching. Stay tuned for next video. Goodbye.